What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Here we are in front of my 2006 350Z and my 1991 MazdaMiata. Today, as you saw from the title of this video, we're going to be changing the PCV valve in this 350Z. It is one of the most overlooked things that you can possibly overlook with the 350Z, and it's super important, and I'm going to explain why here in a second. All right, guys, so with 350Zs, a lot of the time what can happen is the PCV valve can get super gunked up. So the PCV is the positive crankcase ventilation valve, and it's right here in the front of the car. I'm going to pop the hood right now and show you guys. So here's the engine bay of my 350Z, and the PCV valve is actually going to be right there. So it's this right here. Mine has two zip ties on it for some reason. I did not put those on there, the guy before me did. And it actually runs directly back into the manifold here. So because the pistons go up and down, there's pressure that's built up in the crankcase. So to release this pressure, the PCV valve exists. And to keep, emissions and everything under wraps, they actually send those fumes back into the manifold where they're burned again. So another reason why it's so important to change this PCV valve is if it's clogged and gunked up and there can't actually get any fumes back into the manifold, what ends up happening is you can't release that excess pressure that builds up from the pistons going up and down. So because you have that extra pressure in there, there's a whole bunch of positive pressure inside your engine bay, which is going to put pressure on all of your seals and stuff. So a huge reason as to why 350Zs have engine oil leaks, mostly from the back of the engine, is because the PCV valve is clogged and there's no way for the engine to create a vacuum. So if you do have a working PCV, all of your fumes should go from here back inside, and if they don't, obviously it's kept inside the engine as built up pressure, which can cause leaks on all of your O-rings and stuff like that. So a huge reason to change the PCV if it's clogged. We're basically, for the first time ever, going to be taking this one off and seeing how it looks. I'm not actually sure. Looks like I should have ordered a clamp. So I'm going to take this off and we're going to see how it looks. So as you can see, the PCV is right here. There's these zip ties around it. What I'm pretty much going to try and do is take it off here. Geez, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I mean, this is just caked with oil and stuff. So it's going to be a good thing to change this. All right, there's that's popped off. Look inside. All right. I mean, that looks pretty clear, which is good to see. Now, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that out. I think it's a 19. It's not a 19. All right, guys, so I just learned none of these are actually gonna work. What we need is a deep well, but I don't think I have one for the size we need, unfortunately. I'm gonna check this really quick. So I think I might have a 24 in here. 21. Let's see if this works, you guys. If this 21 doesn't work, I'm gonna have to go to O'Reilly Auto Parts and see. So unfortunately, I came unprepared. I need a 23mm deep well socket, and I have a 21mm. So I'm gonna make a quick trip to O'Reilly Auto Parts, and I'll see you back here in 2 seconds. All right, guys, here we are, we're back. We got our 15/16 half-inch drive. Basically what this is a 24mm, but obviously not a 24mm, but it's exactly the same. They didn't have any more 24mm, so we got this and it should work perfectly. All right, so like you guys saw, PCV is right here. We're pretty much just gonna take it out now. Pop this open. Already got this set up. Just pop this in here. And we'll take this out. And it's literally like hand tight, you guys. Just take it out. Able to just remove the rest of it here. And there we are. So here is a dirty PCV. Basically, there's a little valve inside here, or a little ball valve that only lets fluid flow one direction. And if you listen, there's not very much like movement inside here anymore. So it's definitely full. It definitely needs a new one, and it's covered in oil, as you can tell. And I left my rag in the car, of course. 1 second, let me see. No, where's my keys? Rag, there it is. Just give this a wipe. I mean, so a lot of people, believe it or not, will clean this, and you could spray like, I think it's like brake cleaner or whatever that cleaning solution is. You could spray it in here and clean it out. But honestly, this is like a $15 piece. Definitely worth just buying a brand new one. I'll show you guys actually. So this over here, this is the PCV I ended up going with. It's straight from Amazon, so I'm not expecting it to last very long, but you never know. So $10 or $9.99, like you really can't beat it. I mean, if it goes out in a month, I'll just buy another one. But next time, I'm basically gonna see how this one does. And if it, goes out and pretty quickly, I'm gonna buy the OEM one. I think it's $20, so double the price, literally $10 more. Not bad whatsoever, but listen. Can you guys hear that? So here's the old PCV and here's the new one. We got some discoloration here. This one is like white or almost blue, and this one is completely brown from the fumes and stuff. This one, listen, no sound, completely clogged. This one, you can hear like the little valve bouncing around in there. So that is definitely what you want to hear. You do not want to not hear that valve. That's basically the one-way valve that lets the fumes go. What people will do is they'll run a catch can from this into the catch can, and then the tube runs from the catch can back into the manifold here. And it's supposed to catch a lot of those valves, and there's like a drain plug and everything for it. But I do not have one of those, but I will be getting one soon. Just gonna manually put this in here. This, I can't remember what this is called. Correct me in the comments below. I can't remember what it's called, but it's plastic, and this is plastic, so you do not want to tighten this down like extremely tight. I mean, hand tight is really gonna be good enough. And another thing here is if you look closely, there's an O-ring right here, and the one from Z1 Motorsports for 20 bucks does not come with this O-ring, and the O-ring is $3 extra. You could use this one. It looks like it's fine, but personally, I would honestly just go and buy one. Like this one I bought on Amazon actually came with the O-ring, so that's kind of nice. There's hand tight. Now I'm just gonna put this on here, flip it the other way. Just tighten it down. Okay, I'm not gonna get it very tight. Just obviously hand tight is gonna be good. And then what you wanna do is just put everything back together. Definitely double check your hoses and make sure there's no like cracks or anything. This hose looks fine. This hose actually looks like it was replaced pretty recently, so maybe someone has been in here to replace this thing. That goes on there. Just like that, and spin it around. Push this back onto the PCV valve here. Just like that. That is a changed PCV valve. So this is gonna be super important. One of the huge reasons why, like I said earlier, is you can have positive crankcase pressure inside, and we do not want positive crankcase pressure. So you always want a vacuum. So there's a test you can do where you take a 1" by a 1" paper and you put it on the dipstick hole and you start the car with the dipstick obviously not in there. The paper should stick to the hole, and that paper sticking to the hole is the slight vacuum that the engine creates naturally. And this vacuum is good. Like this is what you want. And as soon as the PCV valve gets clogged, you don't have that vacuum anymore. You have positive pressure instead of negative pressure. So basically everything is being pressed against instead of pulled in. So you constantly having to battle oil leaks or oil seepage out of your main O-rings and stuff like that. A lot of people say that this is specifically just to remove fumes and get them back into the manifold for efficiency reasons, but this has a huge play in engine pressure. For $10, $15, even 20 bucks for like the most, you know, pristine install you can get. This was a BeckArnley Amazon install. Honestly, I'm hoping to see a little bit better oil consumption or a little less oil consumption from this. It's not gonna be obviously a huge changer, but with less pressure inside the crankcase, I do expect to see a little bit less oil consumption just because we're hopefully not going to be pushing as much blow by past the pistons and stuff. So I was wearing the GoPro, so don't mind my hair, but I hope you guys learned something from today's install. The PCV valve takes literally 10 or 15 minutes to change, and it can be the difference between an oil leak or not in your car. So definitely go out, check your PCV, make sure you hear that little rattling sound inside to make sure it's working correctly. And if not, order one online and get it installed as soon as you can. I promise you'll see some benefits. That's basically it. Super easy install. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit the thumbs up button if you did. Drop a comment if you have any questions. I can answer them for you to clarify. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. We're about to hit 4,500 subscribers. I'm so happy you guys are enjoying the content, and there's a whole bunch more where this came from. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out. So I want to jump in here real quick and just mention there's a video I watched that explained everything I was trying to explain. I'll put it in the first link in the description. If you're honestly interested to see how the PCV works and actually the benefits of it, there are 3 insane major benefits. I will leave this link in the top of the description so you can go check it out. It's like a 15-minute video, and the guy explains it so perfectly. Even go subscribe to his channel even, because his installs are so thorough, and it's just a whole bunch of information that's like really useful. So I'll leave it in the description. I hope you guys like it. I'll see you in the next one.